Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome. What an interesting day today because we had a recovery in our crypto prices. It's almost like the Jerome Powell news conference never happened because we're right back where we were 2 days ago. But who knows what's going to happen going forward. We got a lot of news to cover today, a lot going on. So we'll get right into it. Thanks for coming in if you're on the live stream. And please hit the like button and also go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Always appreciate that support. And if you're watching this on the video replay, that means you weren't here on Thursday night with Kriss at 9 o'clock. I'm on every night, 9 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. That's me here in Boston. And come join us as we talk about the day's events in crypto trading. We cover other finance markets and other things that may be of interest. Leave a question in the chat. Be glad to answer and talk about what's on your mind as well. But I'm going to drop down here in the corner. And what I've been watching is, well, here we were before the J. Powell FOMC meeting, and then the dump. And then we're right back where we were. This red line is 28,400. 28,400 had been resistance. Bitcoin had traded yesterday morning up over finally 28,400. It looked like it was support there and then blasted down. And now what do we got? Well, got the same thing. Traded up above 28,400, back below, and now it is resistance yet again. I am looking at this upward trend line here. So we'll see whether Bitcoin comes down and challenges it. I think it will. And I also think we might see a little bit of uncertainty overnight, and we could see a little bit of red. But that's just, I don't think it's anything major, but we could be seeing a little bit of a pullback. Nothing like what we saw yesterday, but I am kind of seeing on the charts some trading activity that looks like this is going to go down a little bit, may challenge 28,000 here. So we'll be watching that. Doge, also an upward trend line here, and it looks like it's just bouncing off of it right now. Again, 7.6 cents was before resistance became support. Then we had the dump from the FOMC meeting. And then this morning, and I'll tell you what happened this morning and why Doge traded way above it, just popped up. Mr. Elon Musk may have had something to do with that. And we're trading above, retested 7.6 and now trading above. So we're going to see whether Doge can first stay above this upward trend line, keep moving up. If not, it may come down and retest 7.6 cents. So that's what's going on in the charts. And then the other one we're going to cover is Ethereum. And Ethereum, same thing, bounced below and then had a rocket up this morning and trading actually higher than it was back here. And I did not put my horizontal line on ETH, where we were looking at about 1810 right there. So 1810 looks like that was resistance, traded up above, and now could be support. We'll see whether that holds for ETH. In the news, well, first of all, the futures right now are pretty flat, right near zero. Janet Yellen talking again today, trying to clarify some of her remarks about the banks and that who's covered and who's not if a bank goes bankrupt. So investors, not covered. If you own stock in a bank and the bank becomes insolvent, stock goes to zero, you get nothing. And the people who work at the bank, a salary, they get nothing. However, depositors will be insured up to $250,000. Over that, it depends. It depends. And what Janet Yellen was basically saying today was, again, we're not here to help everybody, but additional actions could be taken to stabilize the bank crisis because FOMC raised the lending rate by 25 basis points yesterday, which could make even more banks insolvent. So we are still treading on rocky waters when it comes to the banking crisis. It is still going on. We don't know what's going to happen next there. However, we do have, and what helped Bitcoin this morning, because the Bitcoin chart, if we go back to that, Bitcoin had a nice big green candles here in the middle of the morning. And what caused that? Well, a lot of it was this U.S. crypto mining bill. That's right. It's good for the Bitcoin markets. And Michael Vanderpop thinks that this is going to sort of propel Bitcoin up over 30,000 to a target of 40,000 this spring. That's what Michael's saying. I'm not that optimistic quite so soon. I know Bitcoin will get to 40K, but not quite so fast. But that's what Michael saw. And here's the bill. U.S. Congress introduces bill proposing Bitcoin mining's aid to energy goals and economic growth. Now, the bill isn't signed into law. It's got to go through a lot of discussion, may get mixed in with other stuff, typically how bills are. So see how all of that plays out. But this is good news. This is Congress talking about cryptocurrency mining, particularly Bitcoin mining, and how Bitcoin mining can actually help the United States achieve goals, how it can work safely, effectively. If there is an energy demand that spikes in a certain area, the mining rigs can be shut down. But when the mining rigs are running and heat is being captured off of that, it can actually produce energy and can give energy back to the grid. And so that's what they're talking about doing here, is giving energy back to the grid there. Also trying to harness as much as they can of hydroelectric, solar, wind, alternative energy means to help keep those electricity costs down, demands down. And companies who are running these mining rigs, they want to be as cost conscious as possible because they're in it for profit, right? They want to mine Bitcoin, reap the rewards. So that's really interesting. And so this bill getting introduced helped Bitcoin go up today. But then Doge also had a spike this morning. And what was that? Well, Elon Musk demands 3 Dogecoin for a visit to Twitter headquarters. That's right. It was by CB Doge, who lives in Europe. And CB Doge says, I'm going to be next month, witness Starship launch. Would love to visit the Bird app headquarters too. So some of the team, they need your permission to visit. And this was addressed to Chief Twit Elon Musk. Well, Elon responded and said, okay, but it will cost you 3 Doge. So Elon, again, being witty, but also just a little wink and a nod to the Dogecoin fam that, yep, still thinking about you, still thinking about Doge. So that's good for Doge. Help come up to a better level than where it was trading before you had Dogecoin trading down here, in that 7.4s, was making some headway up to 7.5, and then boom, jumped up to 7.8, and now we're trading up here. Looks like we have broken past my upward trend line now, just kind of what I thought was going to happen here. It looked like we were going to see a little bit of red, and it looks like we're doing it. So we'll see whether Doge can hold that 7.6 cents now. That's going to be the support. So we'll watch that. But yeah, I think we're in for a slightly red evening tonight. So we'll see about that. What else is going on? $359 million in crypto were liquidated in 24 hours. And that, of course, was mostly thanks to one Jerome Powell in the comments at the FOMC. So the shorts were in control. If anybody was listening to other YouTubers talking about Bitcoin going to 30K and they had opened some leverage long positions because they were so certain that Bitcoin was going to go up. But what was I saying? Not so much. I was predicting it to go down, and it went down. So the shorts reigned. The longs got liquidated. But then once that short happened, those that still had remaining shorts while this was going down, they got liquidated when the price came back up. And then during the overnight, if there were more short positions opened up, they got wiped out when that energy bill was announced. So all in all, hundreds of millions of dollars gone. That's why I say, don't trade with leverage and don't short. You're asking for trouble. And I've heard so many stories of people saying, yeah, I did this 10x long and I made so much money, but they never talk about how many times they do that and they lose. It's like gambling, right? You hit the big win on the slot machine or blackjack or whatever, but they don't talk about all the times they lose, only the times they win. It's the same thing. It's gambling, guys. Gambling. Some may think that all of cryptocurrency investing is gambling. I don't know. I'm here just trying to support this, digital transformation of currency, talking about Dogecoin used as a currency. And that's why I'm in it, because I don't like the banks. I don't like the fees they charge. I don't like how long it takes to do a wire transfer, all this other stuff. And what's the US government trying to do? They're taking out the banks that are friends to crypto businesses. So we have a challenge here, right? We have a challenge that if you own all this cryptocurrency and they take away all of the ways that you can either put money onto exchanges or take money off exchanges and you just have the crypto, then what do? Well, it looks like you've got a lot of crypto. I'd get it off the exchange and get it into a hardware wallet, like a Ledger wallet here. Maybe some in a software wallet too, soft wallet. I use Exodus for that. And I also have for Doge, I have the MyDoge app that I have here, and that's for my spending Doge. And then you just use cryptocurrency as much as you can. What you've invested in cryptocurrency becomes your spending money with cryptocurrency, is what it does. Yeah, you can use Bitcoin on the Lightning Network and other. Doge is cheap and fast, but not everyone takes Dogecoin, so that's what we've got. That's what we have to challenge there. So Bitcoin now holding steady above 28K. We've got Ethereum. It's rising in that post-rate hike rally. So ETH rising up to 1850. That's its highest level since August for Ethereum. So Ethereum's just about to the point where I bought it last summer to stake on Coinbase. We'll talk about Coinbase in a minute, but staking it on Coinbase to support the transition from proof of work to proof of stake. And it's still locked up in that staking, but I've been earning ETH through that staking. So what's going on here? Recent crypto rally fueled by bank runs that have led many to become skeptical with traditional banking, given all the vulnerabilities with deposit flights. That's right. Mike believes that BTC now needs a fresh catalyst to break above 30,000 and enjoy a more extended rally. So what would that fresh catalyst be? That's what we're waiting for. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty with We still have inflation. We still have high interest rates. And the banking crisis could actually be a benefit to Bitcoin. That's right. It could be a benefit to Bitcoin. Because what happens is when the liquidity that's on the markets starts getting used up as people are accumulating more Bitcoin, then what that leads to is more volatility in the price changes that happen on exchanges and the longer it takes to fill orders. We talked about this last night when on Binance.us, when you've got when you have a low liquidity coin that you're trading, that you need to set limit orders. Don't use market orders, because you could just get wicked up when you're buying and end up buying something for much higher than you thought because someone had set, a limit sell really high. Or when you're selling, it could wick down really low because someone had set a low limit order buy. And I've seen it happen. I've seen those big wicks happen. So you got to watch out for that. If someone has some questions about that, we can get into more of that in detail. Other big news today, if you haven't heard, Do Kwon, our friend from the Terra Luna disaster from last summer, he's been caught. He was in Montenegro and he was trying to board a plane with his buddy to go to Dubai. And the authorities in Montenegro knew who he was. And so he has been detained. Authorities in Korea have identified that the person that they have detained is indeed Do Kwon. And of course, the US has these charges out against Do Kwon as well. So it'll be interesting what happens. It's a big international thing. But curious though, is capturing Do Kwon good or bad for crypto markets? I don't know. I'm guessing I think it's good to sort of get the uncertainty of him and what he might do or not do, just get it out of the way. But it's going to bring up the whole Luna crash again. And the more there is news and discussions about crashes like FTX and Voyager and Luna, the worse it is for the whole crypto industry. We need to get that stuff behind us. So hopefully this is something that can be taken care of relatively quickly and pushed out of the way. That's what I hope. But yeah, it's so we had that, and we also in the rally here, we had Ethereum jumping over 5%. We also had Litecoin. Yes, Litecoin went up 12%. Traders liquidated $3 million of Litecoin short positions. So what happened, that FOMC meeting, there's a lot of crypto that was getting shorted. But what did Litecoin do? It didn't drop. Litecoin actually started trading up as traders were squeezing out the shorts of Litecoin. That's what this was. And then from there, when the rest of the crypto market started recovering, Litecoin just continued trading up. Some of this is in anticipation of the halving for Litecoin mining that's going to happen this summer. But we're still a number of months away from that. But that's what I think happened. Last night we were wondering what was going on with Litecoin, but that's what it was. It was a short squeeze on Litecoin that squeezed out some $3 million in short positions. So assessing Litecoin's bounce, social supremacy, and everything in between, what was happening was there was a lot of a lot of people talking online, Twitter, Reddit, other places about Litecoin all of a sudden. And so Litecoin just kept trading up. There's a lot of social sentiment that was good. No other coin, according to Lunar Crush, matched up to Litecoin in terms of social and market activity. Social engagements peaked at 29 million. So, yeah, Litecoin in the news. And that's what happened with the trading. So that was good. We also have on Friday, tomorrow, we've got $1.2 billion in options expiring. Now, I don't trade options and I don't understand the whole option markets, but people think that this is good for Bitcoin, good trading. So we'll see whether that plays out. In the next week, we have the month-end options that are expiring as well. So we'll see how that plays out. We also have, like I was saying, this liquidity situation. So we could expect volatility. And so as the quantity of Bitcoin on exchanges goes way down, that means that when it comes to trading on exchanges where there's low liquidity, you may not get your orders filled. They may take a while, or you may get wicked. So be careful about that. We'll be watching this and what happens with this low liquidity. But it does mean that not a lot of people are selling. There's more buying, and as that accumulation continues, we're not seeing others. We're not seeing an increase of Bitcoin on exchanges happening. And then Coinbase finally, the Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong, calls for action in electing pro-crypto lawmakers. Brian is going to battle this all the way through, what the SEC is doing. Essentially, with Coinbase, the SEC has given them notice that they may be charging them for dealing with unregistered securities. And again, Brian's saying, look, our company has tried to work with the SEC. We're trying to do the right thing. And then you come out and you tell us that we're not doing the right thing, and you're gonna sue us. Brian's like, tell us what the rules are. Tell us which cryptocurrencies that are on our exchanges you don't like. And there's the earn program. There's these other rewards programs. I think that's more what the SEC is pointing their fingers at than particular coins. But they did stop, or are going to stop next week, giving out Algorand rewards, which hurts me because I own a lot of Algorand on Coinbase that I had staked and was earning those staking rewards, and that's being removed. And there seems to be a disagreement between the Algorand Foundation and Coinbase about why that is exactly. Personally, I think it was Coinbase just saying, well, maybe there's a question about Algorand with staking, looking at what happened with Kraken a couple months ago, and Kraken getting sued for their staking program. So they're just gonna stop giving those rewards. That doesn't stop the SEC from saying you were doing it, though. But we'll see how that plays out as well. One bit of good news, the U.S. Treasury, a report came out suggesting that a CBDC could actually hurt the banking system. Well, of course it would, right? If the banks are in it with CBDCs with the government, then the whole use of a digital currency coming directly from the government to the people cuts out the banks. And the banks won't like that. So what'll happen? It won't just rattle the banks. It'll take them out because people will stop using banks. There are individual states, such as Florida and Texas, that are trying to get legislation passed in their state legislatures to ban these central bank digital currencies, thinking it's bad for the people. because that gives the government control over the people. And many states are going to start battling it through their individual states. But it looks like the word is already getting out to the government. And the US Treasury is saying this may be an issue. So more to come on that. More to come. We'll see how that plays out. So price, Doge, 770, just hanging out up here. And Bitcoin right under 28,400, hanging out here. So that's what's going on. So what's going on here in the chat? Musty, welcome. Good to see you. No old faces today, me, you. Hey, CDM, we need daily Doge tweets from you, huh? Hey, it certainly helps, right? It certainly helps. With you know, that pump that Doge had this morning was nice to see. It's nice to see. Still waiting for the big dip, Musty. I don't see any huge dips coming unless there's some big next black swan event, whatever it's going to be. But this whole banking crisis is actually giving cryptocurrencies support, right? People are taking money out of the banks and putting them into crypto, particularly Bitcoin. So that was surprising to me, but now that you see it, it's happening. Tedward, how are you? I have some big time exhaustion from crypto stocks. What % chance we hit 20 cents this year? For Doge, 20 cents? That's a long shot. That's going to take some big catalysts for Doge to get to 20 cents this year. And I don't know if that's going to happen. The SpaceX project, could be this summer. Some people are saying we don't have a definitive answer of that. That Doge 1 project. That would be awesome for Dogecoin. And there's no news about Tesla, whether they're going to be again accepting cryptocurrencies for cars. I think Elon and Tesla have a lot of other challenges on their hand, and they're not really thinking about crypto right now. So don't see that happening. And Twitter and payment systems on their platform and all that is just going to take a long time to get set up. So those were kind of the big three, big catalysts for Dogecoin that I see in the future, but none of them are coming anytime soon. Hey, Joshua, there's a Motley Fool article that's not bashing Doge. Interesting. Typically, they will, even when they have a positive article about Doge, they find some way to slight it, within the article. So I didn't see what this Motley Fool article was, but I'll look for it and see what it says. And at the bottom, they always say, well, if you didn't get into Dogecoin, try these 3 stocks, right? And they try and get you to sign up for their newsletter or whatever. It's like, yeah, I don't need the Motley Fool newsletter. Thank you very much. Don't need that. Hey, Bogdan, how are you? You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Bill. The SEC doesn't shut down these crooked penny stocks. What a joke. I know. And we know all of the illegal stuff that's going on with stocks. And the SEC just doesn't do anything. It's a crime what goes on the stock market. And yet they're going to just pick at cryptocurrency instead. Yep. Sol and AVAX. Will they go back to all-time highs? Well, let's take a look at them. Got a long way to go, especially Sol, right? Where's my Solana? There it is. Solana's at $22. So let's go back to the daily and zoom back. So we had the drop with Solana in November when the FTX crash happened. Solana went all the way down to like 12 bucks, $9, $9 Solana. Boy, for those that were buying Solana then, you're good. I didn't trust Solana. So here's their all-time high for Solana. November 2021, $258. So it's got to do a 10, 11, 12, like a 12x from here. Wow. That is going to be a challenge for Solana, I think, to do a 12x. I don't think they're going to see this price for a long time. Is my guess. I think there's probably, in the next bull run, maybe you can get up here in like the 130s, 140s, but $260, I don't see that happening for a long time for Solana. Too much negativity. They've had problems, with their network stalling, having to be restarted, things like that. So yeah, that's going to be a challenge. What else? Avalanche, yeah. AVAX, so 1755 right now. And let's see what its all-time high was. We had talked about this before. Its all-time high is 144. So that's about, what, a 9x from here? 8.5x from here to get up. That's probably more doable. I think there's more possibility for Avalanche to see great gains from today than Solana. And we were looking before at this at 100. So $100 is the target right now that I could see in the next bull run as up to $100. So that'd be a little over 5x, about 6x from here. That's pretty good return, I would say. These days of these huge runs like we had earlier with all the stimulus money that was flowing in the United States and other countries helping out their citizens, when people were just taking this money and just buying into this bull run of crypto, I don't think we're going to see those kinds of runs again. It's going to be more slow and steady with, slight spikes here and there. But all good. We'll get there. Patience. A little more patience. Hey, Blocksmith. Elon gave Doge a shout out on Twitter today. Yeah, we just talked about it. You weren't here for that. You got to get here at 9 o'clock. See Doge saying that he was going to be coming to the United States to see a Starship launch, wanted to visit Twitter headquarters. And then he basically just said to Elon, hey, Chief Twit, I need your permission. And Elon says, okay, but it will cost you 3 Doge. So that's what it was. Bum, 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 bum. And there is the tweet, which I just clicked on. Okay, but it will cost 3 Doge. And then what did CB Doge do? Thanks, Chief. Here you go. And tipped Elon 3 Dogecoin right on Twitter. So that's pretty good. And where's Doge now? 773, just hanging out up here. Hanging out here. Look at all my little marks. Very busy with Dogecoin on my charts. Looks like we're going sideways here now, guys. But above 760, that's good for Doge. You bought Solana when it was 200. It's going to take a while to get that back, Josh. It's going to take a little while. New face, how are you? Any reason why Jack Dorsey tanked today? Does it influence crypto? Yes. So, what is the name of that big short seller? I want to say Hindenburg. Is that the name of the short seller? something like that. They came out and they said they are opening big short positions on Block. I think it's Hindenburg Research. Yeah, it's Hindenburg Research. They are the short sellers. And they put out this thing on Block. And this is the article that they wrote. Block. How inflated user metrics and frictionless fraud facilitation enabled insiders to cash out over $1 billion. So they're doing some serious bashing of Block, and they've opened big short positions against Block. So if you can look, you can just search under Hindenburg Research /Block, and you can read this about what's going on. And it's a long article. I mean, it's just long. And yeah, they're bashing Block while also having a huge short position opened up. So that's what's going on there. I hope you don't own Block stock, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. So good luck with that. Yeah, ACH. Kraken right now does not have a way for many in the United States to get fiat money onto the exchange, or if you sold from, let's say, Bitcoin to USD, and you've got USD on Kraken, you can't get it off if you were using ACH, because that was going through Silvergate, and Silvergate was taken over. And with that takeover, they're essentially getting someone else to, the government's going to get someone else to run Silvergate, but not do any business with crypto exchanges. So Kraken says that they're looking for other alternatives. We talked about this last night, and I don't see any banks volunteering to do ACH transfers with Kraken, because what's going to happen? Knock, knock, knock on the door. Who's coming? The SEC. And banks aren't going to want to do that. The regulators will take it over. So this could be a potential issue in the United States for holding cryptocurrencies. So, oh, there's an ACH crypto? Oh, I thought you were talking about deposits, because that's kind of what's on my mind right now. There's an ACH crypto? I don't know what that is. ACH? Trading at 3.5 cents. I don't know what ACH is, though. Well, it's had a very exciting run here. Looks like it started in January of 22. At least that's when Binance started trading it, up at 8 cents, and it immediately tanked all the way down to less than a penny. And now it's been moving up February and March. Yeah, I don't know what this is, though. We can go on to CoinMarketCap and do a quick ACH. Alchemy Pay. So what is Alchemy Pay? It's built on Ethereum. So is this an ERC20 token? Founded in Singapore, payment solutions provider. that seamlessly connects fiat and crypto economies for global consumers. Alchemy's Pay token, ACH, is an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay. Yeah, so it's a token. I think these tokens are not going to be long for the world. Is my guess. Or at least for the United States, because they're gonna get the exchanges to stop trading these tokens, I think, depending on how they were launched. So yeah, it looks like there was this big spike here. Wow, that was 15 cents even. This is the all-time. So that ERC20 token was 0.004 and then went on a big spike, then finally got listed on Binance, and then it's just traded down since then. So again, these tokens, you don't know. I'm guessing there's a lot of people that cashed out here on this big run. It was 15x run that it went on. That's typically what we see. The other thing in the news was Arbitrum today. I just saw Arbitrum and what they did. Bum, 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 bum. Basically, price went scaling high, people buying for $9, $10, $11, and then all these people that got airdrop tokens just started selling them, and down the price went. Crash. So I don't know. We'll see how this trades out here now at $1.40. I think it's going to take a while to sort of settle it and see what its price is. But I think there's some people who got wrecked up here that were buying this thing as it was going up, thinking it was going to the moon, and it just turned around and crashed. That's what happens. So we've got to be careful. Doge 774, still trading strong. Hey Jason, how you doing? You want to buy the Ledger Nano S? Can I connect it to my phone? I don't know. It does have a port here, and I suppose you could try it. I've never heard of anyone connecting this. I think Ledger Live, I think it's only iOS. It may not work on Android, but I don't know that for sure, depending on what phone you have. But I use mine on my computer. Does Ethereum have a halving? Not anymore. It is not a proof of work cryptocurrency anymore. It is now proof of stake. So rewards will be given to those that have staked Ethereum as nodes, of which I do. I've got 13 ETH or so that are staked. And so there's no mining anymore of Ethereum. So there's no halving. There's Ethereum Classic. If you want to buy Ethereum Classic, I just don't know what Ethereum Classic's future is going to be. But it's one of these OG cryptos that just keeps on trading. So what do I think is going to happen with the new regulations? Good question, AWOL. Good question. I'm betting big on the future of cryptocurrency. I've invested heavily into it. I think it's the future, but it's going to be a bumpy ride with the regulations. And again, We're talking about regulations right now in the United States, and crypto is worldwide. They can't regulate cryptocurrency. What they can do is they can regulate United States businesses like exchanges, like Kraken and Coinbase, right? That allow crypto to be traded in the United States. So that's what they're going after. But they don't like they can't go over CZ. Now they can go over Binance US, right? Which is an independent company from Binance. There's Binance US, but the big Binance, they wouldn't be able to touch because United States residents can't trade on the main Binance exchange. We can trade on Binance.us, which was set up separately to allow Binance to operate everywhere else in the world and not have to deal with the US regulations. And now what is Coinbase doing? Coinbase has announced plans that they're going to set up a Coinbase 2, which is going to be an exchange for everyone else outside of the US, so they can operate internationally like Binance does, because they can feel the vice like tightening on them here in the US. And so to be a viable company in the crypto space, Coinbase says we got to expand and we got to go international and set up an international exchange. And that's what they're apparently going to do. So with the US regulations, personally, I think crypto is just going to get stronger. It's going to be more difficult, particularly for United States residents to get their hands on crypto. That may become a little more difficult. But overall, this whole thing could just turn back around. You don't know. I showed an article earlier in the stream about a bill that talks about the benefits of Bitcoin mining and that it should be supported. And then we have states fighting back against central bank digital currencies. And we have Coinbase reaching out to, trying to get the people of the United States who support crypto to write letters to your Congress people, showing your support of cryptocurrency. So this is a big political mess now. But the SEC just seems hell-bent on bashing crypto. They're not admitting it, but they're doing it. How's our Jasmy token doing, Musty? How's Jasmy doing? Jasmy was doing pretty good last I checked. Jasmy, yes, up. Almost to half a penny here. That'll be good to get back up to 0.005. Having a tough time though getting up there. But that'll be good to see. Get out of this mess down here. You never know when Jasmy's going to take off. But I've got my big chunk of Jasmy just waiting, biding my time. But hey, if Jasmy wants to go up slow and steady like this, hey, that's okay with me. I mean, this is from the low here to where it is now. Yeah, 7%. That's good. That's good for a little over a day. So, yeah, but Dogecoin up 4.7% today. It's all good. So despite all the crap that's going on in the crypto, sort of all the FUD that's out there, some of it legitimate, some not. Cryptocurrencies are still trading very well. Kusama is one that's been doing very well too. Just going on a nice run tonight for Kusama. So I've been talking about Kusama for a while. Nice to get some down here. I had bought up here though already earlier to round out my Kusama stash. So I missed this really low dip on Kusama, but I got others down here. With Ledger Nano X, you can do everything from iOS. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done it through a phone. I just use a computer. But yeah, if you have an Apple, an iPhone, you can do that. Buy high, sell low. Yep. Nano X connects through Bluetooth, which I don't recommend, but if that's how you do it. I think he said he had an S though, and the S doesn't have Bluetooth. So you got to plug it in. I'm sure there's a plug that will make that connection. Couldn't a spare phone with self-custody wallet work as a hard wallet? Yep, it could. You could do that. Jason thinks that the ETH transition, the merge to proof of stake, was a bad decision. That may turn out to be, depending on what happens with this SEC attack on proof of stake cryptocurrencies. We will see. Well, so they're not going to shut down the exchanges. They're doing everything they can to regulate them, but they're not shutting them down. So I don't know exactly how, what power that they would have to actually, take over a company and shut it down. I mean, they have to define the laws first. Tell them what they're doing, what's right and what's wrong. They have to at least say that. They can't say, we think you're doing something bad, so you need to straighten up. And it's just like, well, what is that something? What are we? That's what Brian's saying from Coinbase, saying, what are we doing? We're trying to work with you. And then what are you doing? You're telling us that we're doing something wrong, but you won't tell us what it is. So, and Brian Armstrong is ready to battle, and he's a very wealthy man now, and he is going to go to war against the SEC, just like XRP did. Coinbase is going to do it as well from the exchange side. And the SEC is going to be sorry that they went picking on Coinbase. That's what I think is going to happen. So, and I trade on these four here. I trade on Binance US, which, that could be one that SEC could go after. They do staking on Binance US. So I don't hold a lot on Binance US. Again, I buy and then I transfer onto either the Ledger, or I've got a bunch in my Exodus wallet. Robinhood, that's where I've been buying my Dogecoin, and I also have some Avalanche and some Ethereum Classic. But I just did this big whole swing trade. And right now it's still all on Robinhood. Now, Robinhood also trades stocks. So Robinhood isn't going to go under. It'll be interesting to see if the SEC starts poking at their crypto side, with Robinhood crypto. Well, I haven't heard anything like that right now, but I would say Robinhood is as safe as anything right now. So that's where I've got my millions of Doge are all on Robinhood now. And then Coinbase we just talked about, and then there's Webull. Now Webull is a Asian-based company. I think they were initially started in China, and then they moved to Hong Kong or Singapore. I'm not sure exactly where, but they opened a United States branch in order to be able to trade New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ. And I don't know that relationship between Webull US and Webull International. So I have more stocks on Webull, though. That's where I have all my Tesla stock, because I had sold other crypto that I had there, because you can't transfer the crypto off of Webull because they don't have those wallets yet. So so we'll see. Fidelity doesn't have a crypto wallet either. Fidelity, you buy crypto on there, it's like you're just buying the price. Do they have the crypto in reserves to match what crypto is purchased on their platform? I don't know. They need to show us their wallets and what they actually have. They may not. You don't know. I would hope they would. I would hope they were doing it right. But we'll see. Yeah, we just talked about, Tim, the Doge 1 earlier, and I don't know. Some are saying this summer, but there's no official announcement of a Doge 1 project yet of when that's going to have. So, yeah. Also, Leonardo, we were talking about this earlier. I don't short, and I do not use leverage or short. I'm a swing trader, and I just did a big swing trade with Dogecoin. If you didn't see me the other night, I was talking about my big Doge swing trade. So that was, let me just do it on the 1 hour here. So that was this. Selling up here and then buying back down here, because it looked to me like that was the setup for just with what was going on in the news at the time. To me, it just looked like it was a perfect setup for Doge to drop. And, it's a little bit of gambling, but it's also a lot of experience too, of watching the markets, watching the trading. And so this move here of over 1 million Dogecoin sold and then bought back down here netted me, I don't know, it's like $8,000 or $10,000. So I was able to then buy more Dogecoin, which I did at, I think it was the second dip here. It was like right there. It was the second batch of Doge that I bought, because I didn't do it right away. But that was the second batch that I bought there. So now I've got about $10,000 more Dogecoin than I would have had if I didn't do the swing trade. But yep, that's what I did. I don't do it very often, but sometimes it's just set up right. Like I predicted this FOMC drop was going to happen, but I didn't trade it. I had other cash available to buy some other coins that I wanted. I knew I wanted more Doge on Robinhood, and that's what that was. But I was also buying some other coins at a low value as well. So because I was swing trading some other coins too. It wasn't just Doge there, but I sold a lot of other coins about that same time and then bought back in lower. So, yep. So that's what I do, but I don't short, and I don't do any leverage trading at all. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome. Any other questions? Let me know. Musty, your Nano X started there and went to Coinbase. Yeah, with Robinhood, you can now use it as for payments, just directly off Robinhood. So I don't know. All my Doge is on Robinhood right now. If I keep it on Robinhood, I'll probably be able to trade with it some more if I want to do some more. Because it was a pain transferring it all to here and then transferring it all back Not really a pain. It wasn't that much of a pain. But anytime you're doing a wallet-to-wallet transfer, you always just got to make sure everything's right. So Jason says he'll pay 3 Doge to go inside Twitter headquarters. I would too. Dollar cost averaging, man. That works. Set it and forget it, right? We're still kind of in a bear market. We're not in a bull market yet. So just do a little bit at a time. And if you think the bull market is coming and cryptocurrency is going to go up, then that can't hurt. You'd pay 3 Doge for Kriss. Give him moose ears. That's funny. Any thoughts, predictions for the next FOMC meeting? So that's going to be May 3rd. And is it going to be another 25 basis points, or are they going to pause? And that's where they're going to start the pause. From what I've read, the markets are already saying it's going to be a pause. But a lot can happen in the next month. If we see more banks failing, it'll probably definitely be a pause. But if inflation is just continuing to go up and all of those CPI numbers are going up, it's going to be another 25 basis point hike. That CPI data is going to be key, which will be the March data that they're going to announce in April. So that'll be the key. So we'll be watching for that CPI data and what's going on with inflation, because that's what they're raising rates to do, is to battle inflation. So good night, Musty. If Elon tweeted during your trade. Yep, that's true, Jason. That's the chance you take, especially with Dogecoin. Doing a trade like that is you can miss out. You could miss out on a big run. Yeah. Yep, big run. Taxes. Yeah, so I use a spreadsheet, and my spreadsheet logs all my purchases and all my sales, is how I do it. And it's a pain to do a spreadsheet, but it's what keeps me organized. Some exchanges will send you a 1099. I'm talking about the United States now. I'm guessing you're in the United States too. But in the United States, like Robinhood, Webull, they'll send you a 1099 form. Coinbase will send you one only if you have so much trading. Binance US sends you I forget what it's called, the SV version of a spreadsheet. So you have to basically import it back into Excel, but it's not very good. I've spent hours trying to organize my Binance.us stuff, and it's a pain. And I just decided, you know what? Every time I'm going to do a trade, I'm logging it. I'm putting it on a spreadsheet, and that allows me to keep track of my average prices, because not all exchanges keep that for you. Like Coinbase doesn't do that. Binance US doesn't do it. Robinhood does. But those others don't. I just like their exchanges better. So I use a spreadsheet. And then every time I make a sale, I know what the price was that I paid for that. And I know whether I sold for a profit or a loss. And I keep track of it all through spreadsheets, even for coins that I bought 2 years ago. So I have these formatted spreadsheets set up that I then use every year to track it all. And if I've got partial sales, then I use different colors. And I said, well, if I bought 100 and I sold 50, then I still have 50 at that price. when you've got, like, I own, Bull Run and I were going through the numbers last week on the stream. I think I counted up 25 different cryptocurrencies that I own now. And some of them have been new purchases this year, but some of them, I've got 2 years of buying and selling in some of these. But yeah, I do it all in a spreadsheet. And then I use an accountant because I have a couple side businesses. I still have my domain name website business, and this YouTube channel is under that for online stuff. And then I have another business that I've had for about 6 or 7 years for online teaching products that I don't even make anymore, but it continues to sell. And so I use an accountant because I have those businesses. And the accountant, I've been using him for 8 years now, and I just send him my stuff every year. He sends me the forms to sign, and it's done. So, but I do quarterly pre-taxes, April and June and September, and then in December I make my quarterly payments because I run this business, and I try and estimate what I'm going to do with cryptocurrency, but you never know. I got a lot of money back this year from 2022 because I didn't make any gains in crypto trading because we were in a bear market. But yeah, I use a spreadsheet, and I map every sale and every purchase. Yeah, Robinhood just sends you the 1099 each year. So if you only traded on Robinhood and you didn't trade anywhere else, you don't have to keep those detailed, a detailed spreadsheet. But because I trade on multiple exchanges, and I have a lot of different cryptos, even some cryptos on more than one exchange, and then you send it. Oh, this is where Robinhood doesn't work, because you buy it on Robinhood. As long as you keep it on Robinhood, they know what it is. But as soon as you send it to the ledger, it's gone. And so if you didn't keep track of that purchase, it's now sitting on a ledger. And then when you send it back from ledger back to Robinhood, Robinhood doesn't know what the cost was for that. It doesn't fit in. What it basically does is it reassigns the average to whatever the price was when you sent it back. So the average that you see on Robinhood isn't the actual average that you bought it at if you transfer into Robinhood. So I got my spreadsheets. I know it's tax season. A lot of you are thinking taxes right now. I already did mine, all done, getting a lot back. So Doge is just hanging out here in the 7.7s. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's better than the 7.4s where it was last night. So up to 7.7. So that's pretty good. Looks like we're just going to hang out here above 7.6. We'll see whether 7.6 maintains support. And then we'll be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, talk about it, see what's happened since then. We had a lot of news we covered today. I think there's going to be a lot more news tomorrow. There's just a lot going on in the crypto world. Hard to keep up with everything, but that's what I do. So come join me tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. I'll be here. And hope you all have a good evening. And we'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome
And the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.